Hey there, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot, and one day I will hopefully be your favorite Diablo 4 content creator. Now, what I'm doing today is updating the Necromancer build for roughly level 60, okay? I am a bit beyond that, but that was obviously due to testing, making sure everything is right and getting it all done. What I'm gonna tell you before we get into this is that this will assume, all right, that you've at least completed 3 regions, okay? 3 regions worth of Renown bonuses for the Paragon points, okay? And I'm gonna assume you've claimed all Altars of Lilith already, all right? The reason for this is that there are some bonus Paragon points involved in that, so I'll end up with more Paragon points than somebody who's not done any of this. Also, you should have all your skill points from Renown bonuses for every region, okay? I'm just going to assume that that has already been done for you guys before I get into this, all right? And I'm going to show you how to build your Necro, your Blood Minion Necro, to do all this crazy things that I've been doing on stream, like, one-shotting most mobs, all that kind of stuff, just deleting bosses in seconds, all that kind of thing, okay? All right, first, let's get into the skill points, all right? There have been some changes from the previous build, and I'm going to show you what they are, okay, by talking through them. Let me remove my camera so that this is easier for you, and let's get into it. Your first skill is still Hemorrhage. You leave that at 1 point because it does practically no damage in World Tier 3. This is just for building Essence, okay? Enhanced Hemorrhage initiates Hemorrhage. You should know this already. For your core skill, you want your Blood Surge with Enhanced Blood Surge and Paranormal Blood Surge. We no longer use Supernatural Blood Surge because Paranormal is far better, and guaranteeing the overpower is crucial to your Paragon tree, which I'll explain later, okay? Unliving Energy and Imperfectly Balanced are also your passives for this node. You also want 2 points in Hued Flesh, no more than that. This is just to supplement your ability to create corpses and continue buffing your minions during longer fights. Blood Mist remains at level 1 with Enhanced Blood Mist and Ghastly Blood Mist to create corpses in case you really need it, as well as to overpower opponents. The damage of this will never increase, so there's no point in putting ranks into it, and your cooldowns, you don't need to cool it down any further because you are guaranteed overpowers with this build. Thorns are maxed, and Skeleton Warrior Mastery is maxed. You'll notice that we've also taken off Corpse Explosion because it's no longer used in this build. Instead, we use Decrypify as our third skill. Why? Because not only does it provide a slow, which allows you to stack damage against crowd-controlled enemies, but it also reduces their damage by 20%, making them even weaker. And on top of that, you have a lucky hit chance of 10% whenever damage is afflicted to the cursed enemies to stun them for 2 seconds. Basically, this is what allows you to stun lock bosses really, really quickly together with your minions, because it's all hits have that lucky hit chance, yeah? It also buffs your teammates if you play in a party, FYI. Amplify Damage does the same thing. It allows you to get a multiplier on top of everything of dealing 9% increased damage to cursed enemies. Nobody can avoid being cursed. So this is awesome. It helps your party members and helps you. You also want to max out Skeleton Mage Mastery in this node, okay? Grand. For the Corpse and Macabre skills, you don't need any skills from here, but you do need Gruesome Mending, 1 point to unlock the rest of this. Coalesce Blood needs to be maxed out, alright? I happen to have 2 extra ranks contributed here, but it will allow your blood skills to deal even more damage, which is awesome. Drain Vitality should be maxed. This is so that you can fortify really quickly. And Tides of Blood should also be maxed because it affects your overpower damage, which is crucial to this build, alright? Coming down to the last node, again, no skills here. I've tried all the ultimates, they don't gel with this build. So instead, Golem Mastery 3, because your Golem is your ultimate, alright? Golem Mastery 3, Inspiring Leader 3 for the attack speed for you and your minions. Hellbent Commander, just because there's nothing else to put the points into. And also, if you stay close to your backline of skeletons, this helps tremendously. Death's Defense, where minions cannot lose more than 30% of their maximum life. This is so crucial, because it saves you and it saves your minions in big fights, which make them a serious threat, even in PvP. Remember that. Bonded in Essence is for making sure that you can heal your minions back really quickly. All right. So I put 2 ranks into this because I had spare points. Then Rathma's Vigor is your key passive, which is crucial to ensuring that you can always overpower your opponents. And that is it for these skills in this build. Now, I'm going to go through the Book of the Dead next. Alright, Book of the Dead, we're just going to take a quick walk through it. Defenders with the first trait, alright, negating direct damage is crucial. And also, because they last longer with their increased health, they are annoying for your opponents in PvP as well as for bosses, things like that, because every time they hit, they have a chance to stun thanks to the curse. Skeletal Mages. Okay, cold with vulnerability. This should never change. Why? It allows you to not only get the vulnerability damage multiplier, but you can get the affixes that deal extra damage to vulnerable targets. Super helpful. Iron Golem remains the Golem choice, but we no longer use Shockwave because it's not useful in upper tiers. Why? Your overpower clears everything super fast, so you take the Iron Golem Slam attack that makes enemies vulnerable. This way you can have vulnerability on demand before a big overpower attack. Okay, so this is how I use it. That is it for the Book of the Dead, and now I'll bring you across to the Paragon tree. Okay, this one can be a bit confusing, but I will try to explain it as best I can. Excuse my slight sniffles. Alright, it's early in the morning when I'm doing this. I'm actually doing a reshoot because I ended up messing up the last video because I didn't go through gear or stats or anything like that. So now I'm trying to change that. Okay, Paragon tree, very simple. You will want to go for damage first, as well as a bit of elemental resistance. Why? Because in Nightmare Dungeons, which I'm going to assume you're going to fight above your level, you will need to try and get an elemental resistance to all elements. Roughly, I would say 50 to 55% is the minimum. Okay, of course you want to go beyond that, but that is going to require an excessive amount of points, and you will need to be very economical with your points as much as you can. You also want to try and get armor later when you can, not just for whatever glyph you socket in. Now, I have thrown the overpower glyph in here first because this is the most crucial one, but there are other glyphs you're going to need. In terms of the glyphs you're going to need, in fact, I should probably address this first, because every board has a glyph slot and you're going to want the following glyphs. You're going to need Dominate first. Why? Overpower damage, very crucial to your blood build. Alright? Next, you're going to want, which one is it? Control. Crowd control targets, I've already mentioned this. You need this absolutely. These two are the absolutely most crucial glyphs that you are going to have to level up, and it takes a lot of XP and a lot of Nightmare Dungeons to level them up, so get to work on those ASAP. I did it late because I was farming Renown, and I still have to do that, but I'm going into Nightmare Dungeon farming right now. You really need to ensure that these two are your bread and butter for this build. Okay, so Control and Dominate are your two crucial glyphs. And Control functions based off intelligence, so it's fairly easy to do because both these nodes up here add to intelligence as well. So you can get both these if you really want to. I would not. I'll probably just go for this as well as the intelligence nodes around here and just level up Control, because there's plenty of intelligence nodes that I can just grab rather than getting just healing received, which you don't really need. You genuinely don't. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of other ways to get the intelligence bonuses you need, and I'd rather go for damage while fortified. But in terms of the Paragon boards that you're going to need to use, the legendary nodes of the Paragon boards are very crucial. All right, so now you understand the two crucial glyphs, which is Dominate and Control. And of course, again, I'll update the build once we get closer to the end game, which is like around level 85 or so. But realistically speaking, when it comes to the type of boards that you want to use, let me just be clear that you will need your legendary nodes. So the way that I've rotated my boards does not focus on the glyph, unlike with most builds. I have focused instead on the legendary node and tried to get the fastest pathway through it while also getting the maximum benefit. So your first Paragon board after your base board is going to be Bloodbath. Alright? Why? Attacks that are guaranteed to overpower deal 50% increased overpower damage. So whenever your Rathma's Vigor is up, or when your Blood Surge is guaranteed to overpower, this creates insane damage. So you must have this. It's a must-have for this build. And in order to get there as quickly as possible, and also to get the best benefits, I rotated the board so that Bloodbath was near Guarded Advance, which gives you damage while fortified, and Powerhouse, which is crucial for bonus 30% overpower with another 15% here and another 15% there. That's 60% extra overpower damage. All right, this is how you clear things super quickly with your overpower. All right. Now, coming over, the next board that I'm working on is Cult Leader. Now, you need the glyph here. All right, but Cult Leader is a bit of a difficult one to work with. And the reason why is because Cult Leader has a very awkward shape. Your minions will deal 15% increased damage for each minion type that you have active. This only applies to minion types Skeleton Warrior, Skeleton Mage, Skeleton Golem. Okay, this board is pretty okay, but like I said, what you want is the glyph socket. All right, you don't necessarily need this except for very late game. So actually, I wouldn't bother with this because it doesn't buff your damage. All right, rather, this board that focuses solely around your minions buffs only minion damage. So what I would do personally is I would focus on getting this one, all right, Cult Leader done after getting the Infused Caster and minion attack speed done. So I'll probably go up here, get this done, and then come down here. This is all about minion damage, okay? But you only grab this glyph slot later on after you've worked on the first two that you need to, which is Dominate and Control, all right? The rest of the glyphs you can get are not as important. But after that, you want to focus on the abilities of your board. There's also more resistance to elements here and another board that you can work on here. What kind of boards am I going for after this? I haven't really decided because there's a lot of good stuff overall, all right? But I'm mostly interested in damage to crowd-controlled enemies, things like that. And all of the other boards, well, they're mostly focused on crit damage. So probably Blood Begets Blood is the only one that I'd be interested in, just for the extra overpower damage from the aggression node. But we'll see how that genuinely goes, because I don't really need all of the focus on blood orbs and whatnot. In fact, the Wither Tree doesn't also, like, a lot of the other trees don't have a lot of stuff that you need. So probably I would just get Blood Begets Blood just for a little bit of the extra, and then I'll go for the Hulking Monstrosity. That's how I plan my stuff, but the Blood Begets Blood is literally just for the overpower bonus. Alright, that is it so far for the Paragon tree, and I hope that explanation was as thorough as it gets. Okay, for now, at around level 60, this is what you're gonna look like for your Paragon tree. Okay, and now we're gonna go into stats and the key legendary aspects for this build. I've tried to minimize what legendary aspects are needed, but still you're gonna have to focus on a few different things. So to start with, where is it? The most important for this build, the second most important, sorry, but I'm showing it first because it's hilarious. Your maximum number of skeleton mages is increased by 3. This is absolutely awesome, by the way. By having 3 extra skeleton mages, your damage goes up quite a bit, and you can CC and vulnerable your enemies super fast. So I really love this. This is my absolute favorite of favorites. So I chucked this on. All right. The stats that you will want obviously are overpower, those kinds of things. But I would say in this current environment, take what you can get, because you only want to really worry about perfect rolls once you get past level 85. At this point, you're still gearing. You're still gearing, and rather you're seeking the ideal aspects. So worry about that first, okay? For the other legendary aspect that you will want, Edge Masters is a good one regardless. Enigma Cube has this one called, damn it, I don't know what the aspect name is. Why doesn't it tell you the aspect name? I swear to God. Okay, well, it's the one that increases the damage for each second that you stand still. Now, this is not going to help your initial overpower burst, but it gets really funny in boss fights, because if you stand still and hemorrhage the enemy, right, while staying in melee range, as I'm assuming. It doesn't take that long to build up, but usually it allows my overpowers to deal a lot of extra damage. All right, the guaranteed overpowers. This is more for anti-boss fights and anti-elite combat, but, well, it's actually anti-boss only because the elites die off fast enough. So this is mostly for anti-boss fights that I like using this. Coupled with the skeleton mages, most bosses get ripped really fast. Now, the other one is, I love this one. Every 10 seconds, your cold skeletal mages cast a blizzard that deals cold damage and continuously chills enemies. This helps them do their vulnerables even faster and also just adds damage. All right, the damage is not that much, but it adds up, which is really, really awesome. It's like having a pack of roving sorcerers following you, all right, which is pretty good. Basic skills grant 20% damage reduction is pretty standard across all builds, and I do recommend it simply because it keeps you alive in tougher fights. Yeah. Blood Surge's Nova echoes again. Now this one is very important. How it works, plain and simple, right, is that when your Blood Surge's Nova hits the enemy, it will echo again, dealing 70% less damage, basically leaving 30% of your damage left over, right? But it basically acts as a multiplier across all your damage, because whatever damage you dealt the first time, you will deal another 30% of that, which is super freaking awesome. It's basically a 30% overall damage boost that multiplies based on everything that you've already stacked up for your Blood Surge Nova. Count that together with your overpower. This is the most crucial aspect that you need to have. All right, it is well worth having in your build. And that basically covers all the legendary aspects that you need. All right. And without further ado, you know, that just brings us over to the, that just literally brings us over to the combat clips. So that's all that I have to say. Thank you very much for paying attention to this video. I am so sorry that it is long. I know the explanations were longer, but hopefully I divided them into enough sections that it won't take you too long to go through each one based on the information that you need. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I would be very grateful if you would. You can also choose to grab a channel membership if you want to help me out and, you know, just basically assist me in making more content faster. That would make me super grateful to you, but again, it's optional because it does cost money, and I know money can be tight for a lot of people. All right, so that is all. I'm going to now thank the top channel members who've kept us supported throughout this entire time. Death Dawning 982 at Plus Ultra, amazing dude. Jerry Fast, Rogue Assassin, Old Mr. Green Buff, Zach MG, all prestige. Thank you guys so much. In terms of our honored robots, we've got Rena, the Mighty Zeno, Chase Taylor, Scuddy, Nathan Strong, Sabingu, AKJ, Lady Neo, Bob John, Joey Danze, A. Ripley, Dara Versk, Che D12, I'm Peep, Saeed Assad, Tuan Nguyen, T King, Coda CMF, Kami SMH, Conrad C, Nate the Great, Corey Ryu, and Benjamin Savage. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to our weird and cool bots as well. Enjoy the combat clips. All right, this is from my Nightmare Dungeon run. Have fun. Okay, ladies and gents, what up? This is the combat demonstration for my Blood Minion Necromancer. All right, wearing my super cool, well, Blood Lady outfit. Okay. Anyway, in order to play this correctly, I am currently in a tier 10 Nightmare Dungeon, which is one level above me. I wanted to get a tier 11, but well, I only just got into Nightmare Dungeons, so I crafted a tier 10 instead. I will craft higher tiers, no problem. Yeah. But anyway, this build functions absolutely as planned. All right. I'm going to demonstrate how it functions to you guys in a moment. So when you encounter elites, you want to ensure that you've got Rathma's Vigor. You curse them first, and then you start spamming your Blood Surge. When you don't have any essence, you spam your Hemorrhage, not for damage, but just to get the essence back. All right? You also use your Golem to make enemies vulnerable, and your Golem's abilities are on a very short cooldown. All right? Stick close to your minions in order for them to benefit from your close range buff. And ideally, you want to stick close to your backline of skeleton mages, all right, rather than your front line, because your front line doesn't actually do that much damage. All right, your golem does a decent amount of damage, but again, it's more of a tank. All right, it's actually your back line. Other than when you're going in for the big blood surges, right? I stick close to the skeleton mages to ensure that I give, you know, the best possible buff to them. All right. And I always apply a curse. Before I begin a blood surge combo, the first thing that I will do is I will apply a curse. Not just to reduce the amount of damage the enemies do, but also to inflict a slow, which look, I'll assume that for most people your gear is going to have bonus damage to crowd control enemies, okay, which is highly crucial. And that will boost up how much overpower damage you do as well. All right, so don't forget that dealing increased damage to crowd control enemies is awesome, because it basically improves everything that you're gonna do, and you will always be able to crowd control them, not just through your skeleton mages, but through your own decryptify curse. All right, which you can use very quickly and easily. So don't sleep on that. But when you're engaging with enemies, keep an eye on the Rathma's Vigor. Keep an eye on the Rathma's Vigor counter, alright? Because it's up every 15 seconds. Usually when it gets to 14, I'll pause for a second so that I don't get it taken away by hemorrhage. Because it will trigger on any blood skill, which includes hemorrhage, alright? And after I make enemies vulnerable with my Golem Slam, I just basically hit him with a curse, and then unleash a guaranteed overpower with Blood Surge, Blood Mist, whichever one, alright? You can use either or. But the fact is, even your minions are damn strong, so as you can see, they will have no trouble ripping things by themselves. But ideally, of course, please help your minions to do their job, yeah? The best combo is when you work together with your minions and you're dishing out fantastic amounts of damage. Alright? I hope that will provide, you know, more info on how to play this. I thought about just doing clips like the last time, but I think it wasn't as informative for people. So I felt that this time what I'll do is I'll do a long teaching segment, and then I'll have another clip at the end where I fight the boss. So please look forward to the boss fight clip. That'll be coming next. Alright, same build, same dungeon. Alright, check it out. Okay, here's the boss fight with the Tomb Lord. Now I could let my minions crush it, but I'm not going to. Basically, I usually just okay, let me get out of that. I'll spam my essence, alright, to build up the guaranteed overpower on the Blood Surge. Alright, this is something that you don't get to see. I'll wait till my Rathma's Vigor is also ready. I'll curse. Okay, buff my minions. Use the Blood Mist for massive damage. Yeah? Something like that. Okay, and then in between, I'll carry on my Blood Surges because they're also going to guarantee an overpower. And even if this thing is above my level, well, you can see that the boss fight ends very, very quickly. So there you go. That's how you play the Blood Minion Necromancer. Now, your minions could technically finish him off by itself, but you know, obviously you'd wanna help your minions out. All right, this is a tier 10 nightmare dungeon. Easy peasy, no problems. Of course, you know, for some of the people that say, hey, your build doesn't work, don't worry, I'll be proving even harder stuff next time. But for now, we're all good. Thank you very much, and hope you enjoyed the combat clip demonstration. Okay, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and of course, grab a channel membership you want to support and see more content. Yeah.